This is the On to Mark Wrestling Podcast. Kick back and hang with your hosts, Kayode, Lewis, and Joel. Let's mark out.
Oh, yes, y'all. Episode 141 on the Mark Wrestling Podcast coming at you right now. You got Kayode, the producer, Lewis, the administrator, and just straight Joel today. Just straight Joel. No Joe Stradamus, no Joe the hater.
I need a new gimmick.
Not this episode. You need a new gimmick? Listen, we changed gimmicks here. It's all right if you feel like you need to make it fresh. But welcome to the new episode, y'all. It is your boys bringing out the three-man band. We wanted to talk to you guys about a little something today, man. We got some stuff we wanted to get off our chest. We got some topics that we wanted to touch upon because you know what, man? You know, it's pro wrestling, and this is what we do. So let's get right into it, fellas. Let's get into some on the Mark Wrestling, pro wrestling news right now, fellas. One big thing that we had to take away from last night, if you happen to watch NXT, was the debut of, I don't know what they're going to call him because they didn't say his name not once. So I thought the creative is probably still trying to think of it. But the debut of Mike Santana in NXT, fellas, that's huge. I'm happy for Mike Santana. Your boy has really he took a chance on himself. He went to AEW, did his thing there, left AEW, which was the big thing. Made a name for himself in TNA, did some indie stuff, got recognized, and now, you know, became a TNA champion, and now he's in NXT. I gotta be honest with you, fella. I like Mike. I like Mike a lot. That crowd was a little lukewarm. I don't know if they were just tired, but that crowd did not seem to even care. And maybe because we've seen him in NXT before, so it wasn't that big of a surprise.
Yeah,
but that crowd was just kind of like, "Oh, it's Santana. It's good to see you." And it was just very quiet in that Presbyterian church. Very quiet. Very, very quiet. Fellas, let me ask y'all: Is this a good look for Mike? Are we jumping the gun? Am I jumping the gun a little bit, thinking that this could be, I don't know, is he going to have any type of impact in TNA, in NXT? Like, what's your thoughts, man? Joel, what you think?
I mean, like you said, yeah, I'm definitely happy for Mike Santana. I think he took a chance on himself by leaving AEW, and he was he was primarily a tag team wrestler for a long time with Ortiz. So yeah, he took a chance on himself to become a single star. He's made it to the big leagues now, as they like to say. I think he'll be good in NXT. I just, like you said, I think it doesn't hit as hard when we've seen him in NXT previously due to the partnership with TNA. So it's not as exciting. So that might be why the crowd didn't react like the way like a big signing or a free agent coming over would be. I'm sure half the crowd was probably like, "Oh, is this another TNA invasion?" You know, like because they tried to run that angle already or before. So like it's a little bit confusing. And I guess that's part of like the weak parts of like this partnership that WWE has with TNA, because it seems like we've spoken about this before. It seems like it's basically TNA just getting fleeced for all of their talent. Like this is now they took Joe Hendry, they took Mike Santana, so I think that's like 2 out of the last 3 TNA champions right there. So it seems like you win the TNA title. Jordan Grace, there you go. No, I forgot about her because she's not being used at all. That's why I forgot about her. But yeah, it seems like if you win the TNA World Title, that means you're getting an NXT contract pretty soon. so I guess that's the new pipeline. Like I said, though, I do like Mike Santana. I think he is a really good worker. I think he has a cool look. I mentioned this earlier when we were talking in our group chat, but I think he has a a missing look that WWE desperately needs right now. I think WWE is lacking that cool superstar. Like you have a Trick Williams, you have a Javon Evans, you have like these guys that might resonate with the younger crowds, but just having like a cool, badass, gets in the ring, has action, and just beats the crap out of people, and also could actually work and wrestle. And he's pretty good on the mic. And he has like that New York style, that New York swag. So like I feel like that's something that WWE is missing. So I am excited to see how he is in that WWE style.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he'll be like a game changer or anything for NXT. Like I'm not like I don't watch NXT week to week. I still won't watch NXT week to week just because Mike Santana is there. But I'll catch the PLEs or whatever and the clips every now and then whenever they pop up on the feed for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Lou, the administrator himself. What's your thoughts on Mike Santana joining the NXT rankings, man?
Well, I concur with most of the points that Joel made. With Mike Santana, I like him and I'm happy for him. And I think it's a nice change of scenery for NXT's main event scene for the guys. Fresh talent is always a good thing, right? No matter when and how they debut. The question is, how do they follow up? And if they change this man's name, I'm gonna be really upset. Because like
What are
Mike
they gonna call him?
Santana just even, and that's his government name, but it has a good ring to it. Even if you just market him as such, like on the marquee, Mike Santana versus blah 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 blah. But Joel hit on a great point that he does have a look that WWE is missing. He's almost like Roman Reigns-esque, where he's got like that cool, I hate to use the word again, but aura, right? But he's got the I don't know, but he's got like that swag, that charisma. It could be because he's from the Bronx, right? And we don't really get people like that often on WWE television. So I'm hoping that they stay the course and his NXT run is successful enough for them to call him up to the main roster by next spring, right after WrestleMania. Am I gonna, just like Joel, am I gonna go out of my way to tune into NXT on a weekly basis because of Mike Santana? Absolutely not. But this should add at least a level of intrigue for that men's main event scene. Because, the women are holding it down for the most part. Lola Vice and Kendall Gray and, Ren Sinclair and whatnot. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I feel NXT is probably like in a transitional period right now because, Obafemi, Trick Williams, they left a huge void. So now you need guys like Mike Santana, and I'm wondering who else they're going to bring over from TNA or anywhere else. So it should be interesting.
Listen, man, at this point, WWE just needs to buy TNA at this point because I mean, what are we doing? Like, and I don't even really want that to happen. But the way it looks, the TNA's had creative changes, they've had talent changes, they're trying to get their money right. It just seems, I don't know, it just seems very unstable. So who can swoop in and save the day, and who's very close to them as we speak? None other than WWE, which I'm not loving. I don't love that at all. But I don't know. It just kind of looks like that might be the writings on the wall. Just their big stars are now WWE employed, right? It just Hendry and I think it's just a matter of time. And I think that's another reason why the crowd wasn't super popped when they saw Santana, because they already seen him. And at this point, it's like the relationship is so close, then, why not? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I could see if I'm WWE and I'm getting all your best talent and I don't have to deal with any of your actual finances or anything, why would I buy TNA? It's not like they're profitable. It's not. I mean, I guess maybe the TV deal. I guess they have a TV deal with AMC if they really want it. But at this point, like, is literally a pipeline to WWE. So give me your best talent, and I'll shoot you a little mention every now and then. I'll say this person was a TNA World Champion on commentary, and that's what TNA gets in return. I guess that's literally that's the only thing that WWE ever does when it comes to the TNA talent that ends up going to WWE. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, former TNA World Champion." That's it. I guess that's
literally it. That's the
relationship. That's the rub they get. It's not like they never send any big stars over there. They never. NXT is the only people that gets to go over there. They had AJ Styles go just to do a pep talk, didn't even do a match. Like, what does TNA get out of this relationship?
Very true. It's very true. Very true. But we'll see what happens with your boy Santana, whatever the hell they're going to name him over at NXT. I hope it's
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Now coming to the ring, Mike Sanchez,
Dirty Sanchez.
Dirty Mike Sanchez.
I hope they don't do it. Man, if they do that, his career is over. It's a wrap in NXT. He's done. I just hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, we'll see, man. Maybe there's pipelines to AAA. They're gonna they threw Damian Priest down there.
That's
Looks
true.
like Dom's been doing some work down there.
You mentioned Damian Priest. That could be a solid little pairing right there. They're both Puerto Ricans from the Bronx. Hey,
that's not
a nice little team right there.
Yeah, not bad.
That's true.
Could be a way to bring them up to the main roster.
Not a bad look.
That's
I
true.
like that.
Very
I
true.
like that. I like that.
We
shall see. We shall see. Fellas, we got to talk about. We contemplated as a group, or amongst us, was Saturday Night Main Event a possibility? Should we have gone? Or the hype of Fanatics Fest. Everybody's out doing entrances. The kids are doing entrances. The influencers are out influencing whatever they're influencing. Everybody was at Fanatics Fest. And then they just transferred over, just walked down the street, basically a couple blocks to Madison Square Garden for a Saturday Night's Main Event that I saw clips of and I refused to watch because I knew it was going to be nonsense. Fellas, I don't know if you saw any of it. I don't know if you cared about any of it. I think as a consensus or in the group, we kind of knew what it was going to be. Any thoughts on Saturday night's main event as a whole? Lou, you got any thoughts about this event? Was it worth it? 4 matches, I believe, and a lot of wasted time. People were saying no progression of stories. Danhausen with the Knicks. Now, the Knicks thing was pretty interesting. I'm going to say, for a Saturday night's main event, in terms of entertainment factor, because that's kind of what the show was back in the day, was like this sort of over-the-top, like, I don't know, just television show where, some stars would come through or big names would be on the show. And this time they had the New York Knicks come through who actually liked the product. And I got to tell you, maybe it's just me, Cat delivered a nice little choke slam. Brunson was a little awkward in the ring. He was just kind of standing there with his blank face. And then I just can. They made it awkward for him because he couldn't physically do anything, right? So he's just standing there with this like sad puppy dog face. Like, am I supposed to jump in? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I don't know, it just kind of ruined the moment for me. But Lou, any thoughts on Saturday night's main event in the Mecca, Madison Square Garden?
So about a month ago, I was imploring the two of you to get a ticket to attend the Garden, just to be in the atmosphere and be, just soak it all in, because, we're fresh off the Knicks championship, WWE in Madison Square Garden, blah, 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 blah. Well, here we are. Saturday night's main event is in the books, and I can honestly apologize for trying to coerce you into spending your hard-earned money on attending a 4-match card with a main event that was non-wrestling related and had nothing to do with actual wrestling. So here are my thoughts, right? The Knicks thing was fine. with the whole Danhausen segment and Cad doing his his exaggerated choke slams and shit. That was cool. That's what you're supposed to do because it's Madison Square Garden, it's the New York Knicks. I get all that. My biggest issue with this particular show was the fact that they allocated 10 to 15 minutes, however long that last segment was. They allocated the final segment, the closing segment of the show to basically kiss Jalen Brunson's ass and further plant their lips on Roman Reigns' ass. So it's like we're celebrating these two individuals who are very prominent in pop culture in their respective fields. Roman Reigns being the top dog, the face of WWE, Jalen Brunson being the hottest thing since sliced bread in the NWA in the NBA. Right? Look where my mind's going. But I love Jalen Brunson. I appreciate what he the championship he brought to the city. We all know it's amazing. And some people say, yes, we know you're a Wemby fan, Kayode.
Nah, I respect it.
No, and like it was historic. We get all that, right? That's been very documented, and people are going to continue celebrating it from now through the day they die. And it would have been more appropriate to do if they had opened the show with that segment. I think I would have been a little more understanding if they had led and opened Saturday night's main event with a celebration. But you're telling me that you didn't have a wrestling match on Saturday night's main event to close the night. Instead, you had a segment that was giving Jalen Brunson a commemorative world title. So if I'm a fan that lives out in Denver, Colorado, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or Memphis, Tennessee, or Tampa, Florida,
or outside of the States.
Or outside of the States, right? If I live in New Zealand, like, why should I give a shit about a wrestler celebrating a New York Knicks championship in the middle of a wrestling ring?
Word. Yeah.
For the main event, for the closing segment. Again, it would have been a little different had it occurred earlier on in the show or if they had done it on a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, but that I did not like it. I did not like it. Not one bit. Like, you don't charge an arm and a leg for people to attend your event, and that's what you close with.
Yeah.
It was nice for people at the Garden, I guess. But even if I was at the Garden and that was the closing segment of the show, I'd be like, yeah, nah, fuck that, man. Like, I would have needed more.
Yeah.
If I feel like I needed more from just watching highlights and clips at home, I can only imagine if I was there in person.
Joel, what's your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, I
agree.
Great
points by you, Lou. Great points.
Yeah, for sure. Great points, Lou. It is baffling when you think about, like you said, like there's fans all over the world tuning into this that have no idea who Jalen Brunson is. Like, obviously, Jalen Brunson has become a prominent figure in sports, so like there is going to be some crossover there. But I think WWE, and maybe this is like the ESPN deal and TKO, I feel like they think more sports fans watch wrestling than actually do. Like, I don't think sports fans watch wrestling. And this is prominent with like Danhausen, right? Like, Danhausen in our world became this big thing with the Knicks.
Yeah.
I went to the New York Knicks championship parade. Nobody knew who the fuck Danhausen was. There was multiple people wearing like the Danhausen merch, the Knicks Danhausen merch, and people were like, "Who's that?" Like, straight up, no one knows who that is. It's a very small niche thing. You have to like wrestling and basketball in order to know who this guy is. Right. And I think that's the same thing. Like, yeah, the Knicks won the championship. They're in the Garden. Cool. It doesn't have to be a whole 15-minute segment. That's crazy. Like, and it has nothing to do with the biggest your biggest match going into SummerSlam, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, and now all of a sudden there's a weird alignment with Roman and Jalen and Seth and Tyrese Halliburton. Like, what are we doing? Who's the baby face? Who's the heel? Because I thought Seth Rollins was the baby face. I thought
forgot
Seth
to
is
bring
supposed
that
to be.
up.
Yeah,
Like,
Seth is
is
supposed to
Roman
be the
Reigns
baby
a
face
heel
here.
even?
Yeah.
I think they've given up on even trying to portray Roman as a heel because they know the crowd is going to cheer for him no matter what. But then there's a weird like booking thing happening because the rest of the bloodline is being portrayed as heel. Like the Usos and Jacob Fatu are being portrayed as heels. Roman even is portrayed as heel sometimes, but then sometimes he's a face. Like they just play fast and loose when it comes to Roman's alignment of what side of the coin he falls on, I guess, on any given Monday. But for that segment, does that mean Seth Rollins? Because that makes Seth Rollins a huge heel in New York. Like in New York, you brought out Tyrese Halliburton, someone that the New York fans hate. And now, like, am I supposed to cheer for this guy? I don't understand it. I'm confused. As a viewer, I don't understand it. I don't really know what's supposed to happen. What am I supposed to be doing? You could tell that was just for the live audience. But the problem is it's a televised event. If you're going to do a house show and that happens on a house show, great, awesome. But this is a televised event. Everybody's tuning in, expecting some type of advancement to the storyline. And all we get is like a championship ceremony, which is cool for the live audience. But we're left at home being like, okay, what does this mean? You know? And then there's no follow-up on Monday because you can't really follow it up because it's not like Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson are going to have a match anytime soon. Like they're active NBA players. That's not going to happen anytime soon. So what is the point of all this? I just don't get it.
Man. Yeah. I think there might be some shenanigans at SummerSlam. That's what I'm calling now.
Oh,
yeah.
You
might be some shenanigans.
NBA players getting involved?
Listen, knowing WWE, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
You know what? Let me add something. Celebrity involvement in pro wrestling is nothing new. That shit's been going on for literally decades. And when they involve celebrities, the end goal is to get more eyes on the product, and they want that crossover appeal. So that's nothing new. The problem with the way WWE or TKO is handling it now is it comes across very forced, as if they're trying to be the coolest person in the room because they're getting like every Tom, Dick, and Harry from a sports league or in the music industry or the film industry, like, hey, by the way, this person's in the front row sitting ringside. Make sure you tune into that person's thing or stream that person's album. Hey, you know this guy, he's going to get involved in a match with actual competitors. It just reeks of desperation. Like they're really wanting the acceptance of the mainstream and pop culture, but like Joel said, not everybody watches sports. That watches wrestling, that is. And then like if you're into, I don't know, if you're into Broadway and you know a Tony Award-winning actor, that doesn't necessarily mean that just because that person is showing up at on SmackDown or a WWE show that you're going to become a fan. And that's the problem that I'm having. Like, it's too oversaturated with the celebrity involvement. It's getting to the point where WWE doesn't even know how to tap into the coolness of pop culture. Like WWE used to be the it thing to watch, right? And they've been trying to recapture that ever since the Attitude Era. And they pretty much were there in 2024 leading into WrestleMania 40, but they haven't been able to rekindle that magic, like that mainstream pop cultural relevance. And it's now the strategy is, let's just get every celebrity that we can think of.
Yeah, that is true. The celebrity involvement, well said, Lou. But WWE is doing it in a way where it's it's leaving a bad taste in people's mouths. Doesn't seem to be about the fans. It seems to be more about what's that bottom line look like at the end of the quarter. So we'll see, man. More things to talk about when it comes to what will be at SummerSlam with this Roman and Seth thing. We'll keep an eye on it here at On the Mark Wrestling. But fellas, this leads me to well, for once, actually, it's actually not me. Man, we have a haters club, but not a Kayode edition, not the producer, but the administrator himself with a haters club edition of the show. Fellas, Joel, you and I will sit back and let Lewis just let it rip here, and let us know if this is VIP service or is this just general admission. What is this? Where are we going with this, Lewis?
You know, I hate to break it to you fellas, but this haters club, the inductee wasn't even. I hated it so much that it wasn't even allowed into the club. We're about 5 minutes late because I had just finished ranting on WWE and Saturday Night's Main Event. I was the bouncer that said, "Motherfucker, you ain't even getting in this bitch." Like that's how much we hate you. You ain't getting the bottle service. Like you
this is wait. This is a first right here.
This
the
is
hater
history.
club. This is history.
This is
the hater club was so bad they didn't even get into the club.
They didn't even get into the club.
Damn.
Yep. They didn't even get
That's a
in.
different level of hate right there.
I know.
Level.
We doing things different for this haters club.
That's a different level.
Oh shit. That's
Man,
great.
no champagne, nothing. Just
They gotta go back home.
But you know what? To add to that, you know who I'm gonna bring into the haters club? This fucking Unreal show. This Unreal bullshit. So Saturday Night's Main Event, you ain't even getting in. But the bouncer is gonna give Unreal those privileges. Like, you know what? Take your ass to the fucking back. Unreal. I have not, and I will never. I have not seen one episode of this show. I think the clips, the trailers, the highlights, and I was just turned off from the inception of the show, from like a conceptual standpoint. And the more I see clips of this latest season, the more it infuriates me because WWE has lost its way creatively. Like, what is happening in this goddamn company? Like, what is going on? Like, we might as well just call it TKO. Like, it's not even just WWE anymore.
Yeah,
like TKO Raw, TKO SmackDown. Like, this is embarrassing, bro. It's fucking embarrassing. Like, if I were to show someone clips of this show that knows nothing about wrestling, yeah, sure, it'll be insightful and informative because they'll be like, oh, okay, that's the way they maneuver backstage. That's the way they come up with certain things. But it's like, you should not peel the curtain back that much if you're not going to come across dynamically.
No.
Like a dynamic organization.
No, they come across so bad.
Yes, they come across as like amateurs, man. Like that kids that are still doing an internship in college and trying to like, I don't. It's whack, man. It's fucking whack.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Lou. I haven't seen this latest season. I watched the first season and I watched like one episode of the second season. I was like, all right, I'm good. But this last season, I seen the clips and a couple of things stood out to me. First of all, we spoke about it, I think a couple weeks ago, but they need diversity in that damn creative room.
I said this last week, man.
It was last week, right? Yeah, they need diversity. They need women. They need people of color. That is so obvious. That's like the first thing that stands out to me. And then it makes me realize like why we were just talking about how there's no cool people. There's no cool people in wrestling in WWE because there's no cool people writing the damn show. Like you got a bunch of old people back there that have been there forever. You got Bruce Pritchard, you got freaking Michael P.S. Hayes, the biggest carnies ever. And like you could just tell that they just been kissing ass for so long that they have like a lifelong gig and they'll never get fired because they're just the professional ass kissers. And it's so bad. It's so bad. It's ran so amateur. That company is one of the biggest companies in the world, sure, but they are ran like amateurs, like Lewis said. Like you got first of all a clip I saw about John Cena saying that he was purposely being bad for his whole heel run, and the whole point of the WrestleMania match with Cody was to put on a bad match to get the fans to boo. I'm like, if that was the truth, let's say that's the truth. I don't think that's the truth. I think they just sucked at whatever they were trying to do. But if that's the truth, you're telling me that's what you're selling your fans? People who paid hard-earned money to go travel to WrestleMania. That WrestleMania was expensive. They spent all that money, and you're telling me that the creative backstage was like, yeah, we're gonna make this bad on purpose? That's a fireable offense in my opinion.
That's a fireable offense.
That whole team should be fired. That's your creative. That's not creative. That's the lack of creativity. And your little department is called the creative team, and you have no creativity at all. I don't understand that. And then the other thing that I noticed from all these clips is that everyone backstage cannot put a sentence together without saying fuck, shit. Like they talk like high school kids, and I'm like, these are the people in charge of all of these people's professional wrestling careers, all of these stars that work so hard, bust their ass for 20 years before they even get into the door with WWE. All these supers, and then we wonder like why they can't book a Ray Phoenix or Jordan Grace or any of these people that we mentioned who have had these long careers on the indies in other places, had success wherever they went. And then they get to WWE and they're like, creative has nothing for you. It's like, what? Yes, crazy. Your literal job is to be everyone on the show should matter. That's the number one thing. If I was there, that's what I would tell them as a creative person. Everyone on the show should matter, even if they're jobbing, even if they're not in a prominent storyline. Have everyone matter because these are your employees. You're paying them. Why are you paying people to just sit around? Like this show, it got me so heated, and then everyone is like in a cult in WWE. All the superstars are like, "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for allowing me 6 minutes at WrestleMania to show my skills." Like, what are we doing here? You know, they have a chokehold on wrestling when it comes to like people having that idea of being a WrestleMania moment and all that stuff. Yeah, but as we've mentioned plenty of times on the show, that is going to change, and people are they're professional wrestlers who are growing up now and are watching professional wrestling and then getting into professional wrestling on the indie scene and starting that journey and getting good at their craft. They're going to want to go somewhere where they could actually show their craft, not go somewhere where you get 2 minutes and your contract's not guaranteed. You might get cut because they're like, we don't want to pay you this much anymore. Like, they're looking worse and worse by the week, by the day. I don't know what their plan is, what their end game is, but this show, Unreal, just makes it worse. It just makes it look like they don't know what they're doing. And then it doesn't, as a viewer, it doesn't make me feel confident in what the show they're putting on week to week. And then if I was a wrestler, an independent wrestler, or even a wrestler that's already signed to WWE, it doesn't make me confident on like what my career would look like, because these are the people who are controlling the storylines, and that's what matters in wrestling, the storylines. And if you can't be creative, then what's the point? What are we doing here?
What's the point?
It's almost like WWE Unreal comes across like a parody. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I should take this serious. Like, is this really what happens backstage, or are we just making a mockumentary of the biggest
it's the Office
wrestling organization in the world?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the shit that frustrates me. That's why I'm hating on this really, really hard. And I don't care if I've never sat down and seen an entire episode. Some secrets are just better left uncovered. Let's just put it that way. There was no need for the cameras to peel this back and for this to be an episodic series. There was no need for it. Like, go back to what you were doing with those WWE 24/7 specials where you chronicle a day in the life or a year in the life of one of your prominent stars leading up to WrestleMania, and or their surprise return. Like, how did that unfold? Like, that's the stuff that's interesting, not this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, where you could barely make creative decisions that are cool or sustainable. It's whack. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
I agree with you, fellas. I agree with you, man. I have watched both seasons because I'm now sucked into it. Now I have to stick with it. But only because I'm a journalist and I want to bring to the show my true thoughts about this season.
Thank you for your sacrifices.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say thank you for being the martyr.
I will sacrifice for the team. But I don't like the show either. I think I agree with you fellas 1,000% with both of your takes. Like Lou said, it almost feels like we're watching a parody. Is this real? The name is it's unreal, but what we're seeing is definitely not real either. Like we're getting them acting like their normal day, but being actors doing it. Like it's not real.
Yeah, if that's the case, right, and this whole show is kayfabe, right, and they're like, this is all planned out, which I'm sure there is some aspects of that. I'm sure it's like a mixture of reality and kayfabe or whatever. It still makes you look bad. So like you can't even creatively make yourself look good on this show. It's your cameras. Like that's why I don't get, like, if I'm dumb, I'm like, no, take that out. I look stupid. I look like I don't know how to do my job. Like, you're giving yourself a performance review for the whole world to see, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah. True. Yep,
it's
that
true.
Is fact. That is fact, fellas. Guys, let's that was a different haters club than what we thought. But listen, the inductee deserves to be in there because Unreal is ridiculous. Just too much going on there. Now, fellas, listen, I wanted to go into a couple of things, right? So I wanted to go into one more major topic for the sake of time here. And I'm going to let you guys decide where we go with this, right? We have a AEW pay-per-view this Sunday called Redemption. And Redemption's card has filled out to about 9 matches, probably more come Sunday. And then we have a special topic, which is we wanted to talk about right now, mid-year, who would we say is the wrestler of the year mid-year, or wrestler mid-year, right? Mid-year mark. Who are the people that are standing out as we speak? Now, fellas, where do you want to go with this? You want to talk a little redemption? You want to talk a little bit of a special topic? Where you want to go with it, man? What y'all think?
We could dive into Redemption a little bit. I think Redemption has a solid card. AEW is always going to have solid cards for their pay-per-view, events. But I don't think that Redemption was really necessary or needed right before All In. I feel like they could have just reserved this for one of their special editions of Dynamite and Collision. Like, we just had Beach Break 2 weeks ago. Last month we had Summer Blockbuster. They do these periodic specials, like Grand Slam, all of that. So I feel like that's basically what this is, because you didn't really need a pay-per-view event, but look, the card justifies it because it's a really solid card from top to bottom. And for all the critics that are saying that the main event is not enough to sell people on buying the pay-per-view, which is Kenny Omega versus Kevin Knight, sure, I can see one side of the argument, but sometimes you just gotta take the chance, take the leap of faith, and this is how you build new talent, younger talent. You gotta give them that opportunity to shine in a pay-per-view spot, and that's not like it's not like that's never been done before by any wrestling company. We've seen that plenty of times. If you've been watching wrestling as long as us, you've seen that plenty of times where it might be someone who wasn't necessarily ready for the main event spot, but it was like the champion needs a contender, right? The contender doesn't always have to be a former world champion or anything like that. Sometimes you have things like this. And we're only a month away, a month and some change away from your biggest show of the year. So if you're going to have a bridge pay-per-view, give it to someone who you've invested the last couple of months in, which is Kevin Knight. And I think the match is going to be a fucking banger anyway. So I think it'll be fine. I think the pay-per-view will shine. That remains to be seen if it's going to go down as one of the best pay-per-views of the year because they've got their work cut out for them, right? Following Forbidden Door, Double or Nothing, etc. So, yeah, I think Redemption will be solid. You know, I'm not overly excited for it, but I'm looking forward to see what they dish out in terms of in-ring quality.
Yeah.
Joel, what you thinking, man?
Yeah, I agree, Lou. I think AEW has kind of won like the benefit of the doubt when it comes to pay-per-views. Like, yeah, like you said, it might not be needed, but this is a solid card. I'm excited for the main event. I think Kevin Knight, yeah, he doesn't have a chance in winning, but it's a good showcase for him. I think it reminds me, I believe when Hangman was champion, he faced Kyle Fletcher in a pay-per-view as the main event, and people had like the same type of commentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of online commentary was like, oh, Kyle Fletcher's not ready, but it was a great showing, and it showed that Kyle Fletcher could be a main eventer, and I think that's what they're doing here with Kevin Knight. It's like, he could be a main eventer one day. Let's give him this chance. Let's give him this big opportunity. Yeah, it might not sell the house out or anything, but it's going to be a good match, like you said, and it gives a young star, which something I think wrestling tends to lack in. They tend to wait too long to build new stars. So, hey, you're building a new star. Kevin Knight is really good in the ring. He's learning how to be a heel, as we see on TV. I think he's been better every week. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fun match. And then the rest of the card, obviously, is pretty stacked. Kyle Fletcher, Bandido, that's going to be fucking incredible.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that match.
That's going to be great.
And like, I think 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, I believe they have Grand Slam Mexico. So I think they're setting up a lot for that show as well. I think people are like looking to forward all the way to All In. All In is not till the end of August, so like it would have been a really long break if they didn't have a pay-per-view in between Forbidden Door and All In. So I could see the logic behind it, but I also think there was some plans that changed because the rumor is that this was supposed to be where Kenny and MJF had the match, but due to MJF having like an injury or whatever, they had to move it up. So I think that probably would have sold this card a lot more. But hey, you got to roll with the punches, and I think they've done a pretty good job. So I'm excited to watch this on Sunday.
Yeah, man, this looks like a solid card, man. And I gotta tell you, the one match that I'm intrigued about, which could just be another test or showcase to see where she is the Maya World versus Hikaru Shida, right? Like, is this Maya World's time to win the TBS championship? But then do you have Shida just drop? I mean, at this point, you don't need Shida to even hold the title. To be honest, I didn't even know she was still on the roster until she showed up in that whole thing with Statlander. Like, who knew she was still there? But she is, and this could be the crowning moment for Maya World, or maybe just could be another showcase to see. Maybe Tony wants to see what else she's got. I don't know. But I'm intrigued by that. But again, fellas, like you said, matches look solid. I did say the one thing to you guys before the show. Before the show, I mentioned I'm a little tired of the Painmaker.
Oh man,
it's starting to look lame. It looks like an old man just dressing up in paint that lives in your neighborhood, and he's scaring all the kids, and he's still trying to live out his rock and roll years, and he's still, he's got the garage door open and strumming on the guitar and all this stuff. Like, he looks like that guy. He's like that guy, right? Like, it's just too much. Like, and Tommaso Ciampa, dope. We all love Ciampa. I just wish he was in something that was a little more meaningful, a little more progressive in his story. Maybe this goes somewhere. Maybe he beats the hell out of Jericho and we don't see Jericho again, or maybe this takes Ciampa somewhere in the title picture that we haven't expected. Who knows? But I'm just come on. I'm just kind of tired of it's not working for 2026. It's kind of lame. It's kind of lame.
I agree,
but fellas. Yeah, it's just not feeling it. But fellas, man, any final words? Anything you guys want to close out the show on?
No, not really, man. I think the writing is on the wall for WWE that they're in trouble creatively, not financially. We all know they're gonna make money, but they're in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, we got to keep bullying them because it's working. They're dropping their ticket prices, $25 tickets to SummerSlam.
I see that.
I'm like, I was tempted to like book a flight to Minneapolis, and I was like, what the hell am I gonna do in Minneapolis?
Catch a Twins game.
Yeah, so I quickly was like, nah, I ain't going. But $25 made it tempting. So if you keep putting those ticket prices at $25, I might become a fan again. WWE.
$25 tickets is
that's like a movie theater ticket. Like
I know we haven't seen that in like ages. They better keep that same energy when Survivor Series comes to H-Town.
Hey,
keep that same exact energy.
If it does, then it'll be an on the mark reunion right there.
That might be. Fellas, I gotta give you a quick update on the ticket sales. Since they did the $25 promotion, they sold another 4,000 tickets per night. So bringing night 1 to 27,275 and night 2 to 26,811, which is still significantly low for that PLE for both nights. That is, and we're talking about this is next Saturday. So this is I'm going to say they might sell they'll sell another couple thousand. They may hit 30,000 on night 1. They might hit 30,000 night 2. I mean, on night 2, I don't know if they're going to hit 30,000. They only had 26,000. So I don't know if they're going to hit 30,000 in night 2. But the fact that, $25, this is WWE is in a situation, like you just said, Lou, that creatively they are in very big trouble. And fans and people are starting to see, the ones that actually care are starting to realize, hey, this show is way too expensive for what you're giving me.
Yep.
The stories I don't really care about. Who's a heel? Who's a face? Am I supposed to be cheering for X, Y, and Z? Am I only going to this show for the communal chants of Seth Rollins' song and this is awesome? Or do I actually care about the stuff I'm watching? And I think that's where they're at. Like, no one cares about the stuff they're watching. They're just in it because of the vibe of the spot. Like, oh, okay, let's just all sing songs and chants and all that stuff.
That's a good point.
It's kind of weak. And I think, WWE tried to capitalize again in their greed off of a moment that was hot. And now it's not as hot as it was before. And they thought it was still hot. And it's not. The product ain't like what it was a year or so ago when everybody was clamoring for tickets. They're just too damn expensive, especially for today's time. And for a family of 3 or 4, that's madness. So if you are in Minneapolis and you happen to be in that area and the tickets are $25, I'd say if you've never seen the WWE PLE or pay-per-view, you go. Go see the show. I mean, if you've never been to a show and you've always wanted to see it and it's in your budget now, this is the time. So maybe that's why it jumped a little bit with that $25 promotion. So that is that with WWE. We'll see where that lies. Fellas, episode 141 of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Thank y'all for joining us as always. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
You have just listened to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at On Wrestling. And email us on onthemarkpodcast@gmail.com.